An indispensable component of the wetlands ecosystem, the vocal frog also provides this watery habitat with its characteristic soundscape. With nearly 5,000 species spread across every continent except Antarctica, these widely distributed amphibians are not limited to wetlands, but are at their most prolific within them, particularly in the tropics. Warty-skinned or not, there is actually no taxonomic difference between toads and frogs, and they all share the same life cycle. After breeding, frogs lay their eggs in a jelly-like substance in or near the water. Heavily predated upon by wetland snakes and wasps, the developing larvae can detect the vibrations of predators and hatch early to avoid being eaten. Typically in the space of just 24 hours, the tadpoles will metamorphosize into fully fledged frogs. Losing their gills and tail and sprouting 4 legs, they emerge on the surface at the end of the process, almost a different creature entirely. A largely carnivorous species, frogs target the abundant insect life of the wetland, firing their sticky, elongated tongues to snatch passing prey. Excellent swimmers, frogs are also adapted to the terrestrial aspect of the wetland, with most species being proficient climbers. And with their heavily muscled hind legs, frogs are, relative to size, the best jumpers of all vertebrates. Each frog call is unique to its species, and the primary purpose behind the croaking is to attract females. As such, it is generally only the males that croak, and many have developed vocal sacs under their throat to amplify the sound. With females drawn to intense low-frequency calls, some frogs can be heard over 1.5 kilometers away. Coming in a range of colors and shapes, frog eyes project outward from either side of the head, granting a visual field of almost 360 degrees, a distinct advantage in avoiding the wetland's many predators. A transparent third eyelid provides additional protection when swimming underwater. As amphibians, frogs are able to respire through their highly permeable skins. This adaptation allows them to breathe underwater, but also makes them susceptible to contamination from their environment. With pollutants carried in the waterways and the global spread of the deadly chytrid fungus, amphibians are the most endangered animals on the planet, and over 1/3 of frog species are facing extinction. Vital to the wetland ecosystem, if frogs are to be protected, the wetlands must remain pristine. Host to an ever-changing array of feathered residents and visitors in the wetlands, birds bring variety and beauty to an already teeming ecosystem. Beyond the influence of the seasons, the wetlands are shaped by the flow of water, and with tides, droughts and floods, this is an environment in a constant state of flux. Countless species of bird rely on this habitat for all or part of their lives. And in times of plenty, the wetlands are alive with birds in their hundreds of thousands. Multiple species share this aquatic landscape for weeks or months at a time. Periods of flood expand the resources and opportunities that the wetland affords. And during these times of abundance, year-round residents will live side by side with masses of seasonal visitors. Wading birds exhibit a range of adaptations specialized to this habitat. With long necks, long legs, and pointed beaks, they stalk the shallows to peck out fish and small invertebrates from the water. With short legs and broad bills, waterfowl float on the surface, using their web feet to paddle, and then submerge, feeding bottom up on the aquatic plants growing underwater. The large congregations that the wetland floods draw are not always a harmonious experience, and squabbles are a frequent occurrence as the pecking order is established. In the still waters of more tropical wetlands, water lilies thrive, and species such as long-toed lily trotters use these as a hunting surface over waters that would otherwise be beyond their reach. For a great many species, wetlands present the ideal nesting and nursing area. Sheltered and with a plentiful food supply, a variety of birds take advantage of the wetland to establish nesting sites, hatch their young, and teach hatchlings the skills they need to survive in the wild. For the migratory species, they will eventually take to the wing once more, venturing from the relative security of the wetlands to the wider world beyond. These mass exoduses are among the most spectacular sights in the natural world. Such sights may become increasingly rare as climate change alters the flooding patterns of the wetlands, reducing the amount of bird life they can support. Careful management of the waterways that feed these systems is required to ensure that the waters continue to reach the wetlands and the abundance of bird life continues to flourish.